Chapter 1. The Descent into Despair. The planet of Varina, with its verdant landscapes and azure skies, was a jewel nestled in the cosmos. Its inhabitants, the Virans, were a proud and resilient species, their culture as rich and diverse as the ecosystems that flourished on their world. However, a shadow had fallen over Varina, a malevolent force that threatened to unravel the very fabric of their society. A deadly virus, unknown and unfathomable in its complexity, had begun to spread like wildfire across the continents. It struck without warning, leaving a trail of despair in its wake. The Virans, for all their technological prowess and wisdom, found themselves powerless against this invisible enemy. Their healing arts, which had stood the test of time, were ineffective, and their scientists, the brightest minds of Varina, could only watch in horror as the pandemic decimated their population. It was during these dark times, as the Virans grappled with the enormity of their plight, that a glimmer of hope, as unforeseen as it was miraculous, pierced through the gloom. A spacecraft, unlike any the Virans had seen before, tore through their atmosphere, its descent marked by a fiery trail that illuminated the dusk sky. The vessel, battered and clearly in distress, crash-landed in the heart of the Rivara forest, a place of ancient mystery and untamed beauty. The pilot of this craft was Alex Mercer, a human from a distant world, unaware of the catastrophe he was about to step into. His arrival on Varina was not by design, but by a twist of fate, his mission of exploration taking a perilous turn that led him to this afflicted planet. As the Virans approached the crash site with a mixture of caution and wonder, they found Alex unconscious, the craft's life support systems barely keeping him alive. Despite their own suffering, the Virans' innate compassion moved them to action. They extricated Alex from the wreckage, their curiosity piqued by this stranger from the stars, so different in form yet so familiar in vulnerability. In the seclusion of a healing chamber, designed to harmonize with the natural energies of Varina, Alex awoke to a world on the brink. The language of the Virans was unknown to him, their customs and technology alien, yet the desperation in their eyes needed no translation. As he learned of the virus that ravaged their planet, a sense of solidarity took root within him. Though a stranger in a strange land, Alex could not ignore the plight of the Virans. Little did he know, his presence on Varina, once a mere accident of fate, was about to become the catalyst for a fight against an enemy that knew no boundaries, no species, no mercy. Chapter 2. Bonds Forged in Crisis. As days melded into nights, Alex's understanding of the Virans and their plight deepened. Their initial wariness of him transformed into a cautious embrace, fostered by his earnest efforts to communicate and his visible empathy for their suffering. The Virans, in turn, shared with Alex the beauty of their culture, their art, music, and the deep connection they held with their planet. Yet, beneath the surface of these exchanges, the shadow of the virus loomed large, an unspoken dread that colored every moment. Alex, with a background in biology and a spirit undaunted by the unknown, began to collaborate with Viran scientists. The research facilities, built within and around the natural formations of Varina, became a second home to him. The Virans, impressed by Alex's quick adaptation and keen intellect, shared with him the data they had gathered on the virus, a mosaic of information that painted a grim picture. The virus, they discovered, was unlike anything they had encountered. It defied their traditional methods of treatment, mutating with a rapidity that rendered their vaccines ineffective. The Virans' technology, so harmoniously integrated with their environment, seemed powerless against this microscopic foe. Amidst the research and the relentless advance of the pandemic, Alex and a Viran virologist named Talin became particularly close. Talin, with her brilliant mind and compassionate heart, found a kindred spirit in Alex. Together, they spearheaded the research, delving into the genetic makeup of the virus, seeking a weakness, a chink in its armor. One evening, as the twin moons of Varina cast a serene glow over the land, Talin shared with Alex the concept of Lorana, a Viran philosophy that emphasized the interconnectedness of all life forms. It was a belief that every creature, every plant, Every microbe on Verena was linked in a delicate balance. Alex listened intently, struck by the beauty of the concept, and it was in this moment, under the soft luminescence of the moons, that an idea sparked within him. Drawing from his own knowledge of human biology and the principles of Lorana, Alex proposed a daring approach. Rather than combating the virus directly, they would work to enhance the viren's immune response, using a synthesized compound that mimicked the virus's structure, thereby teaching the viren's bodies to recognize and combat the virus more effectively. The proposal was met with a mix of skepticism and hope. The virens, for all their technological advancement, had never ventured into such uncharted territory. Yet, the dire circumstances and Alex's convincing enthusiasm swayed the Council of Elders, the governing body of Verena, to approve the plan. The days that followed were a blur of activity. Alex and Talon, along with a dedicated team of Viren scientists, worked tirelessly. The lab became a crucible of innovation and determination as they synthesized the compound, tested it, refined it. The stakes could not have been higher, and the weight of an entire planet's hopes rested on their shoulders. As the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, marking the end of another arduous night, Alex and Talon stood side by side, looking out over the Rivara forest. The compound was ready for its first trial, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. Little did they know, the challenges they had faced thus far were but the prelude to a trial that would test not only their scientific prowess, but the very bonds they had forged in the heart of crisis. Chapter 3: The Trial of Hope. The dawn of the trial was met with a palpable tension that enveloped the entire Viren community. News of the potential breakthrough had spread like wildfire, igniting a fragile flame of hope in the hearts of many. The Council of Elders, traditionally reserved in their optimism, publicly endorsed the initiative, lending it a gravity that further heightened the collective anticipation. The trial site was situated on the outskirts of a Viren settlement, chosen for its accessibility and the controlled environment it offered. A temporary structure, harmonizing with the surrounding landscape, housed the participants, a group of Viren volunteers, each affected by the virus, yet resilient in their desire to contribute to a solution that might save their kin. Alex and Talon, at the forefront of this endeavor, found themselves thrust into roles that transcended the boundaries of mere researchers. They became symbols of the unity and determination that had taken root between two vastly different beings united by a common cause. The night before the trial, they shared a moment of reflection, acknowledging the journey that had brought them to this precipice and the uncertain path that lay ahead. As the first light of dawn crested the horizon, the trial commenced. The compound, a crystalline solution embodying the fusion of human ingenuity and Viren wisdom, was administered to the participants. All of Verena seemed to hold its breath as Alex, Talon, and their team monitored the effects, their every sense attuned to the well-being of the volunteers. The initial hours passed without incident, a period of anxious waiting that tested the patience and resolve of all involved. However, as the day progressed, subtle signs of improvement began to manifest among some of the participants. Their vital signs, meticulously recorded and analyzed, showed promising shifts, a testament to the compound's potential efficacy. Yet, with the rise of hope came the shadow of disappointment. Not all participants responded to the treatment, a stark reminder of the complexity of the virus and the diversity of the Viren physiology. Talon, ever the voice of reason, reminded the team that this variance was to be expected, that the path to success was often paved with setbacks and learning. The community, while buoyed by the initial positive signs, grappled with the reality of the situation. The virus continued its relentless assault on the population, its toll mounting with each passing day. The need for a solution had never been more critical, and the weight of this need pressed heavily on Alex and Talon. In the weeks that followed, the trial became a crucible in which the hopes and fears of an entire species were melded. The compound underwent refinements, its formulation tweaked and adjusted based on the invaluable data gathered from the initial trial. Each iteration brought with it a mix of anticipation and dread, the emotional toll on the team palpable. Amidst this whirlwind of activity and emotion, the bond between Alex and Talon deepened. They found solace in each other's company, their shared burden forging a connection that transcended the professional. In the quiet moments, they dared to dream of a future where Verena was free from the shadow of the virus, where the bond between their peoples could blossom into an enduring alliance. As the second trial approached, the air was thick with a cautious optimism. The lessons learned from the initial trial had been absorbed, the compound refined into a beacon of hope that shone all the brighter for the trials it had endured. Alex and Talon stood together, their resolve unshaken, ready to face the next chapter of their journey, unaware of the challenges and revelations that lay just over the horizon. Chapter 4: Shadows and Revelations. The commencement of the second trial was marked by a solemn ceremony, reflecting the gravity of the moment and the deep spiritual connection the Verans held with their planet and its cycles. The community gathered, their luminous eyes reflecting the light of the ceremonial fires, their voices united in a song that resonated with the hope and pain of their collective ordeal. Alex, standing beside Talon, felt the weight of the occasion, the solemnity of the Veran rituals imbuing the trial with a sense of purpose that transcended the scientific endeavor it represented. The compound, now refined and imbued with the collective will of both human and Veran intellects, was administered under the watchful eyes of the world. As the trial progressed, the initial signs of success from the first trial were not only replicated but amplified. The compound's efficacy became more pronounced, its impact on the virus more decisive. The Veran participants, once beleaguered by the illness, showed marked improvements, their vitality slowly returning as the compound worked its subtle magic. The community's response was a mixture of jubilation and reverence, a celebration tempered by the knowledge of those they had lost and the journey that still lay ahead. Talon, her spirit buoyed by the trial's success, shared with Alex the deeper implications of their work, how it represented not just a potential end to the pandemic, but a new beginning for Veran-human relations. However, amid the burgeoning hope, a shadow loomed on the horizon. Reports began to emerge of a new strain of the virus, one that exhibited mutations potentially resistant to the compound's effects. The news cast a pall over the community, a stark reminder of the capricious nature of their adversary. The revelation prompted a flurry of activity within the research team. Alex and Talon, alongside their Veran colleagues, delved into the genetic structure of the new strain, their days and nights consumed by the challenge it posed. The atmosphere in the lab was one of intense focus, the stakes of their endeavor now higher than ever. As they unraveled the complexities of the virus's new form, a breakthrough emerged, not from the data and samples, but from the bond between Alex and Talon. In a late-night discussion, fueled by exhaustion and the relentless drive to find a solution, they stumbled upon a novel approach, inspired by the very essence of Veran philosophy, the concept of balance and harmony. They hypothesized that instead of directly targeting the virus, they could enhance the Veran immune system's ability to adapt to the virus's mutations using a derivative of the original compound. This approach, while more complex and uncertain, held the promise of a more sustainable solution, one that could evolve in tandem with the virus. The proposal was met with cautious optimism by the Council of Elders and the scientific community. It represented a bold departure from the established path, requiring a leap of faith in the untested synergy of human innovation and Veran wisdom. As preparations for a new trial began, Alex and Talon found themselves at the heart of a whirlwind of activity, their every moment dedicated to the pursuit of this new strategy. The pressure was immense, the eyes of Verena upon them, but in each other, they found the strength to persevere, their partnership a beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness. The night before the new trial, as Verena's moons cast their serene light over the land, Alex and Talon stood together in silent contemplation, their thoughts a tangle of hope, fear, and determination. The path ahead was fraught with uncertainty, but the journey they had embarked upon had already changed the course of their lives and the destiny of Verena. The dawn was approaching, and with it, the next chapter in their extraordinary saga, a testament to the power of unity in the face of adversity. Chapter 5: Unity Against the Tide. As the new dawn broke over Verena, the air was charged with a palpable sense of anticipation and unease. The entire planet, it seemed, held its breath as Alex and Talayan, along with their dedicated team, prepared to embark on what could be the final leg of their harrowing journey. The new approach, blending the original compound with a revolutionary method to enhance the Viren immune system, was a gamble, but one that carried the hopes of an entire civilization. The trial's participants, chosen for their resilience and diversity in response to the virus, were a microcosm of Varina itself. Each bore the weight of their role with a quiet dignity, understanding the magnitude of the trial not just for themselves, but for their people. The compound, now a complex formulation embodying the very principles of Lorana, was administered with a reverence that underscored its significance. As the days passed, a cautious optimism began to take root. The participants showed signs of not just resistance to the virus, but an adaptability that hinted at the compound's potential to outpace the virus's mutations. The scientific community, both Viren and human, watched in awe as their bold strategy began to yield fruit, the data painting a picture of hope that had seemed so elusive. Amidst this scientific endeavor, the bond between Alex and Talayan became the cornerstone of not just the trial, but the burgeoning relationship between their two species. Their collaboration, once born of necessity, had blossomed into a profound partnership, symbolizing the unity and shared purpose that had taken root between the humans and Virens. However, the path forward was not without its obstacles. The virus, ever elusive, continued to mutate, presenting new challenges that tested the limits of the compound's adaptability. Each new mutation was a reminder of the delicate balance of life on Varina, the intricate dance between predator and prey, virus and host. The Viren community, galvanized by the initial successes of the trial, rallied to support the effort in any way they could. Artists and musicians dedicated their crafts to the cause, creating works that celebrated the spirit of unity and resilience that had come to define this chapter in their history. These expressions of hope and determination reverberated throughout Varina, weaving a tapestry of solidarity that bolstered the spirits of all who witnessed it. As the trial progressed, the data began to coalesce into a promising narrative. The compound, in its refined form, was not only effective in combating the virus, but in fostering an environment where the Viren immune system could adapt and thrive. It was a delicate equilibrium, one that required constant vigilance and adaptation, but the possibility of a sustainable solution seemed within reach. The Council of Elders, once cautious in their optimism, now publicly acknowledged the strides that had been made, the unity that had been forged in the face of adversity. They spoke of Alex and Talayan not just as scientists, but as harbingers of a new era for Varina, one where the lessons of Lorana were embodied not just in philosophy, but in the very fabric of their society. As the final phase of the trial approached, the atmosphere on Varina was one of tempered hope. The journey had been long and fraught with challenges, but the horizon now seemed to promise a dawn of renewal. Alex and Talayan, standing together as the embodiment of the partnership between their peoples, looked toward the future with a cautious optimism, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their purpose and unyielding in their resolve. Chapter 6: Dawn of a New Epic. The culmination of the trials marked a pivotal moment in Varina's history. The final phase, observed with bated breath by both Viren and human alike, unfolded under the watchful gaze of Varina's twin moons, their gentle light a silent testament to the countless cycles of hope and despair that had preceded this moment. The compound, now a beacon of unity and scientific ingenuity, demonstrated efficacy beyond the cautious hopes of its creators. The participants, embodying the diverse tapestry of Viren biology, showed not only a robust resistance to the prevailing strains of the virus, but also a remarkable adaptability to its mutations. The virus, for so long a specter of death, began to recede, its grip on Varina loosening with each passing day. The announcement of the trial's success sent waves of jubilation across the planet. Gatherings, marked by the vibrant colors of Viren art and the resonant melodies of their music, filled the air with a sense of triumph and relief. Alex and Talayan, Once mere visitors in each other's worlds, were now celebrated as heroes, their names forever etched in the annals of Viren history. But the legacy of their journey was not confined to the eradication of the virus. The collaboration between human and Viren, once born of desperate necessity, had evolved into a profound partnership. The exchange of knowledge and culture, facilitated by the bonds formed in the crucible of crisis, laid the foundation for a new era of cooperation and mutual growth. The Council of Elders, in recognition of this new dawn, proposed the establishment of an interstellar exchange program, dedicated to the pursuit of shared knowledge and the exploration of the boundless possibilities that lay in the unity of diverse species. Alex, representing humanity, and Talon, a beacon for the Virens, were appointed as the inaugural ambassadors of this initiative, their journey a symbol of the potential that lay in the collaboration between worlds. As preparations for the exchange program commenced, Alex and Talon found themselves reflecting on the path that had led them to this moment. The trials they had faced, the moments of despair and elation, had forged between them a bond that transcended the mere partnership of circumstance. In each other, they had found a kindred spirit, a shared vision for a future where unity and understanding bridged the vast expanses of the cosmos. The day of departure arrived, a momentous occasion marked by ceremonies that echoed the deep spiritual and cultural heritage of the Virens. The spacecraft, a marvel of combined human and Viren engineering, stood ready, a symbol of the journey ahead, not just for Alex and Talon, but for all who would follow in their footsteps. As the engines ignited, casting a brilliant light against the backdrop of Verena's verdant landscapes, a hush fell over the gathered crowds. The ship ascended, a beacon of hope against the canvas of the night sky, its trajectory a path toward a future uncharted but bright with promise. The legacy of Alex and Talon, and the trial that had brought them together, became a beacon for both their peoples. It was a testament to the power of unity in the face of adversity, the strength found in the embrace of diversity, and the boundless potential of cooperation across the stars. The dawn of this new epic, born from the darkest of times, shone as a guiding light for the future, a future where the bonds of friendship and understanding reached across the void of space, binding worlds in a tapestry of shared destiny.